Good morning. It's great to be here.
How are you finding Sigma so far?
So far, well, again, it's only just opening this morning, but the networking has been very good. Networking last night, yesterday. Cape Town's a beautiful place, and it's really good to be at Sigma.
Absolutely. So straight to the questions. And the first question today is, seamless and secure transactions are critical for gaming operators. So how does Tola Mobile averaging fintech innovations to ensure that this doesn't really tamper with players and platforms?
So Tola Mobile, we integrate mobile money wallets across Sub-Saharan Africa. So we don't take payments. We don't take card payments. We also don't touch the merchant's money. Our model is a direct settlement model with the mobile money payment system ecosystem. We're operational in 22 regions. And the direct settlement model means that when a merchant or a customer player actually initiates, or the merchant initiates a payment transaction with the consumer, it's instantaneous. So the consumer gets the push to their handset to approve the payment. On entering the PIN and successfully completing the transaction, it's completed, and in real time, the funds are transferred directly to the merchant, in this case the gaming operator. They know that they've got the money, it's in their account. They can then use that, put into the player's account. The player can then instantly, it's in their account straight away, they can then use that to bet. So there's extremely low latency, it's extremely frictionless, and it's also in real time. Although the player can get access to their funds in real time, the merchant, the operator, the gaming provider, the betting company actually has access to the money as well. It's cleared funds. They're not waiting 2 to 3 days, +2, +3, +4, +5. They're also not subject to any payment disputes, because the moment that we as a technical integrator send them the success notification, the money's in their account. So there's no settlement later on. There may be a reconciliation exercise to do to ensure that what was collected was actually recorded in their back office and reconciled against our record, but they've got the money. So it enables a really fast turnaround of payments in and payments out, because again, that's exactly what the player wants. They want to, when they press the withdraw button, they want to get their money straight away. They don't want to be waiting 30 minutes, 2 hours, a day, next day for their money. They want to get their winnings out straight away.
Absolutely. So fast, efficient, and simple and reliable. Second question is, with mobile money and digital wallets, gaming transaction in emerging markets, how can companies adapt payment strategies for a broader audience?
Okay, so mobile money is the de facto payment method across Sub-Saharan Africa, excluding South Africa and Nigeria, which are predominantly card-based. Every other region, mobile money is the way in which people have access to electronic funds, whether it's M-Pesa, whether or not it's Airtel Cash, whether or not it's MTN Momo, whether or not it's AfriCell. I can go on. We actually have 50 direct integrations across the 22 regions. So we know all those providers to some extent. That is where a gaming operator needs to look to take payments. Coming to the environment with a card-centric attitude and experience and knowledge needs to go out the window. It's all about mobile money. It's all about that frictionless level, money in, money out fast. But again, that's driving a different type of game. In the crash games that have taken the last 2 years have taken absolutely solid hold on the African markets. Probably wouldn't be there if it wasn't such a transactional model. Money in, play game, winnings, money out. And again, that can, with a crash game, that can be within the course of 5 minutes. So it can be paid by people sitting on the Maputo, on the buses, sitting on transport in the morning going into work, grabbing 5 minutes somewhere, putting money in, playing, seeing if they can win, and taking their winnings and taking it straight back out.
Absolutely. And how do you ensure things like mobile money doesn't really tamper with compliance?
Well, this is the interesting angle to some extent, in that to get a mobile money wallet, a consumer subscriber of the network, of the mobile phone service, has to apply, provide all their KYC to the network provider to get the SIM. Then they have to apply again to get the mobile money wallet, providing their government ID, providing their fingerprints and other biometrics. And I've done it myself, landing into Agra last year, renewing my Airtel Tigo mobile money wallet, providing my ID. I had to do the same in renewing my M-Pesa number in Kenya, because after COVID it had timed out and I'd lost the number. But so the consumer end is all KYC'd and is all goes through that process with the network operator to apply the wallet. In our direct settlement model, the merchant also has to apply to the network operator to get their pay bill, their merchant account, for them to hold the funds. So it's KYC'd at both ends. Therefore, once someone is then registered with a wallet, the whole end-to-end is then, to some extent, protected at the both ends. So therefore, to some extent, there's no further need for KYC on player registration.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And our second last question actually. Fraud and chargebacks remain a gaming challenge in transactions. What cutting-edge security measures and fintech solutions can mitigate these risks without compromising user experience?
Okay, another very interesting question.
Yeah.
Chargebacks is a mechanism used by card providers and within the card processing network. So if you're not taking payment by card, then you're not subject to chargebacks. Mobile money, every payment is two-factor authentication. So either there's a push to the handset, so as you click the deposit button inside the player's site or on the USSD menu, or you send an SMS in with a deposit request, the push to the handset asks for your wallet PIN. If you're pushing money directly into a merchant's pay bill, you're asked for your wallet PIN as part of that push payment going straight into there. If it's an approval on an app, which it is in some regions where we're moving into e-wallets, it's still an approval to make the payment. If it's approval on a website or with a QR code, it's still the consumer is approving every transaction. So it's like having 3D Secure switched on all the time, which then means that the levels of fraud, no chargebacks. That's why I said our direct settlement model means that when the merchant receives the funds initiated by them of the player, the consumer, the money is in their account as cleared funds, free of charge and fraud. Now, there is still fraud in the system, but it's normally injected into other elements of the player's journey or the player interaction, whether it's within the sportsbook platform or within the betting company themselves. So it's an inside job.
Okay, thank you for that. Last question is, looking ahead, how do you see fintech reshaping the gaming industry, and what trends should operators and regulators prepare for in the coming year?
Again, another very interesting question. So fintech is shaping gaming industry through the facilitation of the vast turnaround, the low latency action of money in, bet stake placed, game undertaken, whether or not it's an actual game, whether or not it's a computer generated game, whether it's an RNG game, whether or not it's a virtual game, or whether or not it's a game with other players online, sim racing, virtual play, etc. Winnings and then money straight back out again. That's what's fintech is enabling, and it's what's changing again. The crash games, the advent of more RGN games. We've been supporting the Kenyan Lotto now for 10 years. That's how long we've been doing this mobile money integration, connecting into Safaricom 10 years ago when there wasn't even an API. So that's what's driving. The second part of your question is, what can the regulators do? And again, we want to work with regulated in-region players that are here today and here tomorrow. that are operating legitimate services, ensuring that they're acting as responsible gaming providers, acting as ensuring that when winnings are awarded, that the player is able to take out the winnings and they're able to take them out as fast as the payment system can enable, which for us is in real time, but ensuring that there's no, the player's not been victimized, that they are there tomorrow because they're effectively holding funds on behalf of the player. So if the player leaves their winnings in there and comes back next day, their winnings haven't been eroded or haven't been taken, or games have been reversed, or any sort of practices like that. And again, for that, there is a level of regulation needed. We also believe that there's a level of payment regulation also required to support the KYC model. If you have other players accepting unregulated currency or unregulated payment methods, it's likely to be in an unlicensed offshore gaming environment where there isn't the protection for the consumer, there isn't the protection for the player. And again, protection for the player is also good because as a flip side, it then provides protection for the actual gaming merchant. They may think that they're operating in a more unstructured environment and able to make higher margins out of play. Well, the only people that they're making a higher margin from is the consumer. And again, that then becomes much more of a speculative exercise. Speculative is then risky. Who's it risky for? Well, both sides. And again, that means that then they're gone more quickly, and they're probably then gone with monies that are then being held by the player, and the player is then is taken advantage of.
Thank you. Wonderfully said. I can't really wait to see what the innovations and the fintech industry is going to hold for us.
It's certainly an exciting place to be.
Thank you so much. That was Simon Pepper from Tola Mobile. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of Sigma.
Thank you very much.